Hello everyone, welcome back to another session of Interaction with a Topper. And today with us is All India Rank 18, WARDAH Khan. So first of all, WARDAH, congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
And welcome to Vajiram and Ravi. The best thing over here is that WARDAH has been a student of the General Studies Foundation course in 2021. And she has clicked this rank in her very second attempt itself. So we'll start with the basic question, Vardha, which is how did you feel when you saw your name in the so-called the sacred PDF what I've learned from you,
Yes.
and that too in the very first quarter. So what was the reaction? What you felt?
So I believe every aspirant would be able to relate to it, and especially when we've reached the interview stage, we dream about finding our name, like Control F and one search result found. We find our name in the holy PDF, but to find it in the very first page was nothing short of a dream. Quite interestingly, before even opening the result, I was flooded with messages and calls from my friends who had mentioned the rank in the message itself. So, and naturally, when I opened the PDF, I started crying, and it was an emotional moment both for me and my mother. More so for her because she's been a single mother and really supportive of this decision. And I think when we take this decision and we live through this journey, no matter how daunting and tiring it may seem, our parents and friends live through it along
Yeah.
with us. So they've seen it all, our highs and lows. So naturally, it's an emotional moment and a new high for them as well.
Absolutely, absolutely true. I think it's the total support that we need in order to take it ahead. Whether
sir.
talking about clicking a rank, like it is something that maturity also hits with time. But was there anything in your mind like, okay, I'm going to give like 2 attempt or 3 attempt. If it is working out, it's great. Else I'll leave it. I have the support to go for another attempt maybe. Was there a thing like that for you?
So, like every aspirant, I had also watched a lot of topper videos. I'm not able to recall the name of that rank holder, unfortunately, but she said कि जो सब कर रहे हैं वो तो करना ही है. मतलब जो basics हैं वो तो करना ही है. So, if you are doing the basics, after that you do not have any regrets.
Yes.
Okay, and I also believe this will vary from person to person, the number of attempts that they wish to give. Since commission has provided us with 6 attempts, a lot of people have this determination that I will fight the battle till the very last moment.
Yes.
But when I had planned on going for this career path, I had only decided to go for 3 attempts at max. And during those attempts, I will do everything, the basics that are suggested, so that I do not have any regrets.
Yes.
And if anything, if at all after those attempts I am not able to make it, then I will ascribe it to, I wouldn't call it a failure, but non-happening of that event, I would ascribe it to my destiny and the subjectivity of the process.
It's very matured of you to think of it.
Thank
Let
you.
me tell you, it is a graceful exit,
Yes,
which matters more than a wonderful entry.
definitely.
Because not necessarily everyone clears it, but it's a part of life that you have to accept it. However, that doesn't mean that we come to not qualify the exam. We need to give our 100%, right? Okay. Talking about the basics or to do whatever is needed to be done for the exam. You have been a student of the foundation course, and that too, I saw that you are a student of the online course.
Yes, sir.
And there are too many myths regarding online course. So I'll have a few questions for that. First thing is that why did you choose for online course?
Yes, sir.
Although you were in Noida, so Delhi, Rajendra Nagar is very much
So
approachable,
it
right?
was there were 2 reasons for that.
Yes.
First was the COVID wave had struck the country. So at that time, almost all the courses were online. There was an option of switching to offline mode after 2 months
Yes.
of the beginning of the course.
Yes.
But then I was so in sync with the entire schedule that I'd built around it that I did not necessarily find the need to shift to offline mode. Besides this, like you said, though we can travel from Noida, but I felt that it would take up a lot of my time in traveling to and fro, and I would be exhausted also at the end of the day. And when we sign up for any course, we look for 2 to 3 basic things. Whether we are able to understand the lectures, we are able to get our grievances redressed or not, and whether we are able to make notes along with it. And all 3 of these concerns of mine were addressed. In my online batch, all those who are attending it online, they must be knowing they can, at the same time while the lecture is going live, can send their queries by typing it out.
Yes.
And I'm very fortunate that I used to have a lot of queries. I think a lot of my faculty must be remembering me with this only, that she used to ask a lot of questions, but they were thankfully addressed either then and there, or the faculty used to provide an email, and I have gotten replies over email also addressing my queries. So since three of my concerns were addressed, I didn't feel the need to shift to offline mode.
Yes. Let me share you one part of teaching.
Yes, sir.
Actually, because the screen is exactly in front of you for a teacher while you are teaching a batch wherein both offline and online students are sitting, for a moment you can ignore one thing which for a student who is sitting in front of you,
Yes, sir.
because you can address it in the next 3 minutes. But for an online student, it pops up in front of your eye.
Yes.
So you need to address it, otherwise it will be bothering you in your head only.
True.
So I think that's where a big advantage is there for the online students.
Yes, sir.
What do you think? What makes people hesitant joining an online course? Like definitely one thing which I believe is that maybe the interaction which is there with the faculties, they feel that in an offline school, offline course it is more. Did you feel anything like that? Like you are missing out interaction?
So I believe for a lot of people, of course, the physical interface part they miss. They feel that that would be more effective. And secondly, a lot of people have the connectivity issues at their place. So they fear on losing out the important stuff, and that they will have to rewatch the lectures for the same. And the biggest reason I feel is the apprehension about getting the queries addressed. They feel, like you just mentioned, that since it pops up in front of the teacher, they are more cognizant of that fact.
Yes, absolutely.
So this is opposed to what the popular perception is. They think that that would be ignored. Of course, any frivolous query would be ignored at the
Obviously.
point. Yeah, but I do think that the institute, when it launches an online course, it takes care of that. That both the students are at par in the lessons.
Yes, I also feel that strongly. So that's why I wanted someone who has clicked a rank, advocates for the same thing, that it is not a thing which should stop you from preparing well. Do you think discipline becomes an issue in an online course?
Yes, you rightly pointed it out, because we tend to become lackadaisical while being at home.
Yes.
Although it's a 2 to 2.5 hour lecture, I remember it used to take place in the afternoon, and that is when the lethargy kicks up in,
Yes.
in most of the cases. So I think it also provides you an opportunity to infuse discipline in your routine. If you design your entire schedule around it, what people usually do is that they miss the lecture, they think they'll watch the recording. But then recording will not provide you the opportunity to get your grievances redressed.
Yes.
So, of course, a sense of discipline has to be maintained on your part. When you're coming for offline classes, naturally you're sitting in a disciplined manner because your peers are sitting and the teacher is in front of you. You have that fear. But in online classes, it is a good opportunity to infuse that discipline. That will help you as a person also to sit and have that attention span.
Absolutely, absolutely. But that is something that is to be introspected
Of course.
and then developed over a period of time, right?
Yes.
Okay. Talking about your way you were studying, can you please brief student like what you felt is the right way which worked out for you? How to use the notes which were given in the class? How to use the classes itself to be asked directly? When a class is taught to a student, for every foundation batch student who is watching this video, how do you think they should use it?
Okay. So I think there are certain things that are indispensable, and irrespective of the teacher telling you or not, once you're in the process and once you get to hear it from rank holders, you should definitely practice it. These things being reading the newspaper regularly, being thorough with the NCRTs first, that build a solid foundation. Because the teachers usually start with the standard books, they start with the note making process, and of course, neither it is and neither should it be a spoon feeding process.
Yes.
So when you're done with when you're managing these things on your own, you will be able to understand the advanced level things in the classes. What I used to do is that while attending the lectures, I simultaneously prepared notes. The pace was tuned in such a manner, thankfully, in the online lectures that I could make notes. And if I missed out on something, I rewatched the lectures, the recordings of the same. And these notes were the they were the bedrock of my mains foundation.
Yes.
These were the notes that form the body of the answers that I wrote for mains. Besides that, I think value updation, especially once you haven't been able to get through in the first attempt, is your responsibility alone. Your content, for instance, if we take the structure of cooperatives or the Panchayati Raj institutions, that wouldn't change. The constitutional provisions wouldn't change. But maybe new examples will come up. A new data will come up.
Yes.
So that is, the onus lies on you. And with regular reading of newspaper and other monthly compilations, you will be able to integrate that current stuff to your static notes. And as regards answer writing, what I suggest is that do the PYQs first before attempting the test series. From your PYQs, you will find that maximum things can be answered from your notes itself. And if at all there are certain outliers which are there every year in every paper,
Yes.
make a 2-pager note on that, 2 to 3-pager note on that, so that you're done with the PYQs. And then hop on to the test series, because test series prepare you for unpredictability.
Yes.
They prepare you for time management, speed development, and how you write answers, how you draw flowcharts on the D-Day. They prepare you for the peripheral things. Your body and all is the academic part that should be done while you're studying and attending the lectures.
Yes, I generally tell it to students that answer writing and writing an answer are two different things.
Yes.
Writing an answer is your knowledge base that you
Yes.
do while you're preparing the exam itself. Answer writing is more of a time management thing, mental preparation thing.
Definitely.
Yes, so I get that point from you. Vardha, just tell me something like when we look at a daily schedule of a student, generally there are myths like study for 12 hours, 14 hours, do this, do that. Tell me practically what worked out for you.
Like I said, there is no one-size-fits-all approach in this exam. Everyone's approach is tailor-made.
Yes.
But still, I do feel that there are certain things we need to come clear about.
Yes.
First is regarding the study hours. And in this also, I think the obsession with the number of hours should be done away with. You have to arrive at your own target after seeing your pace of understanding things, revising things, and how you have planned out your entire schedule. For me, I could study with maximum efficiency for 8 to 9 hours, to be very honest. And even if I had planned my day for 12 hours, I would start getting burned out after 8 to 9 hours.
Yes.
So this is what I suggest to other people also. Arrive at your own target. And you don't have to mindlessly imitate any rank holder, because it might have worked for them 15 to 16 hours or maybe 5 hours for some people.
Yes.
It might not work out for you. So that's pretty much about the number of hours. Okay. So one more thing that I have to add in this is that the time period between prelims and mains, like when the mains is approaching, unconsciously the number of hours increase, because then you are writing answers, you are also revising a lot of things, you are doing your optional vigorously. So without even planning, your number of hours stretch to 12 at least.
Yes.
So, and that is very natural. When the exam is approaching, we will be able to relate it to our university days also.
Yes.
Like 2 days prior to the exam, efficiency is at its peak. So in mains, when 1 or 1.5 months is left, naturally the number of hours increase, and they should be increasing.
Yes, it's a natural output.
Yes, sir. So that should be the way to go about the number of hours.
Yes, I think so. It's variable. It depends on a disciplined way of a stagnant hours that you must do for yourself, which is tailor-made, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Vardha, telling about motivation, which is one very important factor over here, because we get depressed with small failures.
Yes.
Now, staying back for an exam for almost 2 years with 2 attempts,
Yes.
and with no certainty in mind that I'm going to qualify it, how did you motivated yourself? Like, how did you kept yourself updated, upgrade, and also with the same zeal that yes, I'm preparing for a bettering? What motivated you?
Yes, sir. So I think motivation sometimes may not be sustainable in the long run, but discipline definitely is. And also reminding yourself why you started this journey. Like I addressed a few hours ago as well, that it could be your dream, it could be your parents' dream, or you might have been inspired after looking at a role model. You might have idolized something. So it could be any of the reasons, and every reason is justified why you started.
Yes.
But you have to constantly remind yourself why you started. Doing the same things in a routine manner every day also gets boring. So take a day off, what I used to do is that I did not earmark a particular day that I would be taking off on a Sunday or a Thursday. There usually used to be a day in a week when I didn't feel like studying after reading the newspaper. That was the first thing I used to do, and I used to take a day off that day. And even on the regular days when I used to study, like according to my routine, after I'm done with the daily target, after I have clocked 8 to 9 hours, I used to take a stroll in my society or talk to my friends to get my mind off the preparation. So it's very necessary that you're not constantly preoccupied with the thoughts of exam, because it will give rise to fears like whether I'll be able to clear it or not, whether today's day was fruitful or not. You have to get your mind off the exam for a certain number of hours.
Yes.
So that I feel, and also I would paint a very contrasting picture between both my attempts.
Yes.
So when I initially started out, I also had this in mind that the non-seriousness with which we give university exams, that is not going to work here. So I need to give respect to the exam and the institution. So I was pretty much isolated throughout the year. But I couldn't make it in the first attempt. I would say it is also a blessing in disguise, because for my second attempt, because much of my foundation due to that isolation and hard work had been built in my first attempt.
Yes.
So in my second attempt, I could afford to go out, to not clamp down on my social presence that much. I remember taking a vacation right after my prelims. I was sure of clearing the prelims to some extent. Any other person in my place would have started with mains preparation right away. But I needed a breather. And that was the only vacation I might have taken in the past 3 to 4 years. I hadn't gone out before that. So I would say that don't compromise on the quality of your preparation, but strike a good balance between your social life and your preparatory phase.
So mental health is equally important,
Yes, of
right?
course, sir.
I think in the course of preparation, we mix ourselves machines,
Yes.
which is not required.
Yes.
Vardha, tell me something like maybe the last sort of question from my side. Uh, the people who are going to appear for prelim exam just after the next 2 months, maybe not even 2 months, and those who are majorly looking at 2025 attempts, what are the major things that they should do? Let's talk about the one who are looking at 2024 prelims. So prelims is becoming unpredictable. Cutoff is going down, and we can see it's an impact of CSAT also to a larger extent. So what do you think? What should be there in the mind of those people who are looking for the upcoming prelim exam?
Yes, sir. So, one thing that I would like to remind, especially people who are giving it for the first time in 2024, a lot of them are frightened because of the 23 attempt. And I would again say that those who appeared and sat for 2023 did not know that such a paper would come, or the option setting would change all of a sudden. But still, 14,600 people still made it. They still use the same strategy they had been applying since then. So, this naturally means that no change in strategy is required as such.
Yes, absolutely.
You have to master your static. That was there before also, and that continues to be the prerequisite now. You have to do your static books. You have to have, what I did was at least 3 iterations of PYQs, solving previous year question papers end to end. After a gap of a few days, so that you don't get acquainted with the answer, and
Yes.
so as to check your approach towards a question. PYQ analysis, control over static, and limited resources for current affairs and continuous revision of the same are the 3 things for GS. And for CSAT, of course, I feel that since past 3 years, I guess, the CSAT level has been rising.
Yes.
And there are people from maths background who also been failing CSAT. So start taking it seriously. I've always been of the opinion that any exam that you're approaching, you have to respect that exam.
Yes.
And the institution that conducts it. So earlier people used to not give that kind of respect to CSAT, especially from a maths background.
Yes.
They used to think we'll be able to easily cross 100, and they got a rude shock in 2023. So respect. There's a reason why that exam has been put.
True.
Yeah. So regularly practice, identify your weak areas, and practice CSAT in the afternoon slot, so that your mind works that way. The time during which the CSAT exam takes place, you are lethargic. You tend to be lethargic after lunch. You have that baggage of GS paper also.
Yes.
So when your mind and body will be synced that way, that every day I used to practice at that time. So naturally in exam also I will deliver at the same time. I'll not
Yes.
feel lethargic. So from 2:30 to 4:30 every day I used to practice.
It's a very
CSAT.
smart way to look at CSAT actually.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So your mind is fresh because it has been in the routine. That is the way to go for 2024 students. And for 2025 people, because they're still early on in the process, you just develop the habit of newspaper reading. Not everyone is able to do it.
Yes.
And start enjoying it instead of looking it as a part of your syllabus or something that needs to be get done away with. Okay, so develop a newspaper reading habit and get done with your NCRTs first. And of course you will have another year's time and besides these two, prepare your notes. If you're attending lectures, prepare your GS notes along with lectures and your optional notes. Before you start any year's cycle, your notes should be completed so that you're only left with answer writing.
Yes. So I think all the skill set what is required to qualify this exam, you have to adorn all of them before you go for the battle itself.
Yes, right.
That's what is needed to click this exam. Great, Vardha. I understand it completely. So any other thing that you want to tell our students, like what shall not be done during the preparation? That don'ts are the bigger problems over here. So what are the things to be avoided?
There are certain, attitudinal changes that one needs to bring about. The first is the complaining attitude that I come across a lot of aspirants who are always uh, they are complaining about the humongous syllabus or the black box that evaluation is. But it has been the same since forever. People have still navigated their way through these uncertainties and come out on the other side. So there's no, and nobody's forcing you to be in such a system, right?
Yes.
You always have the option to quit it. But once you're there, respect the process, and there is always a solution for everything. There are certain postulates in answer writing that if you follow, you are bound to make it. Value addition is a secondary thing. So people don't strengthen their basics and they complain about the things beyond our control.
Yes.
At least do the things that are in your control. The second attitudinal change that I would recommend is that being honest to yourself about your preparation. Lot of times we lie to ourselves as well. You can, of course, you shouldn't, but you can get away with the lying to your parents or those around you regarding your level of preparation. But you yourself know that where you are standing. So if you think, let us say you've mastered a topic, you've completed a subject, you attempted a mock, and you got very good marks. So you don't even feel like analyzing your mistakes. You think you have understood the game.
Yes.
But it's a relative competition at the end of the day, and you might not perform under pressure. So stay true and honest to yourself that if I don't know this, I don't know this. There is no shame, and don't make it a matter of your ego that how can I not know this. We are all fallible, and human memory is fleeting. We tend to forget things. So revise and just stay honest to yourself about your preparation.
I think I get it. What we are needing is more of a good human being,
Yes.
honestly doing their hard work.
Yes.
Right. Great, Vardha. It was great talking to you. I think we have got a lot of information to work on, and I think it is the actions which speaks louder than words. So no
Definitely,
matter how much we say what we have done, it is your actions for which you are sitting over here. Congratulations and all the very best for wherever you go. And anyways, you are going to click the foreign service, right?
Yes.
That's your first preference.
Yes,
So all the best, and
Thank
we
you,
hope
sir.
to see you on new heights every time we meet you. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much, sir.